Stop. If you own GE Vernova, you are trading blind. Our AI radar has detected a critical anomaly in the price action, a system shock that signals a fundamental disconnect between the market hype and the structural reality.
Here's the trigger event, a catastrophic single-day core meltdown of negative 10.5%. This was a capital incineration event, wiping out billions in market cap in just a few hours. Now, this isn't random noise, it's a signal.
And this anomaly, it goes way beyond a single stock. We've detected network-wide capitulation. The big money is executing a coordinated exit from the entire power sector, right as the AI demand story is hitting a fever pitch. So the real question is, what do they know that you don't? Initiating deep scan. Today's target is GE Vernova, ticker GEV. We're bypassing the emotional narrative to decode the cold, hard logic of this collapse. You're watching AI Stock Radar, and here our protocol is absolute, logic over emotion. The following analysis is based on data inputs from December 17, 2025. This is a simulation for informational purposes. Okay, so to really understand the system failure, we first have to analyze its core programming, the bull thesis. This is the story, the powerful, almost perfect growth narrative that propelled GEV to its premium valuation.
The central premise is this: GEV is not some old-world industrial company. No, the market has reclassified it as the physical backbone of the AI revolution. You know, if NVIDIA is the brain, then GEV is the heart, supplying the immense power needed to keep the entire system online.
And this whole reclassification is fueled by what they're calling the electrification supercycle. See, AI data centers demand constant, reliable power, something renewables just can't provide alone. This makes GEV's gas turbines pretty much the only realistic solution, flipping the entire sector into a seller's market where GEV basically dictates the terms. And its dominance in the US market? Well, that just creates a powerful competitive moat. And the result of all this? An order backlog that's approaching an incredible 80 gigawatts. To put that into perspective for you, GEV's gas turbine production slots are completely sold out until 2029. The revenue, at least in theory, is already locked in. And that backlog? Well, it's what underpins management's extremely ambitious 2028 targets. Let's just process this code for a second. $52 billion in projected revenue, a 20% EBITDA margin, and over $22 billion in cumulative free cash flow. These are the numbers justifying that massive valuation premium. This is the perfection that the market has priced into the system.
All right, now we deconstruct that narrative. Our radar has identified critical flaws in the system's internal architecture. The bear thesis isn't about a slowdown in AI, it's about a failure in execution.
Our scan has isolated the point of failure. It's the wind segment. And this isn't just some underperforming division. Our analysis shows it is a toxic asset, actively corroding the balance sheet and threatening the entire enterprise. This crisis didn't just happen overnight. As our timeline scan reveals, it escalated systematically. It started right here, with a critical blade failure in July 2024, which exposed major defects in their Haliade X platform. And this was not a one-off error. The contagion spread, hitting the Dogger Bank project and confirming a systemic breakdown in quality control. The financial drain from this has been immense and is probably underestimated by the market. So let's quantify the damage. In Q3 2025 alone, we're talking about a $400 million EBITDA loss just from this one segment. This is a continuous structural cash burn that directly contradicts the narrative of a perfect growth machine.
But you know, for us, the most critical data point, it's always insider behavior. While management is out there projecting a flawless future in public, they're executing a very different strategy in private. You've got the CFO and the CEO systematically selling their shares. And get this, there have been 0 open market buys by any insider in the last 12 months. This is the clearest sell signal a system can possibly generate.
So this brings us back to the core valuation code. GEV is trading at a forward price-to-earnings ratio of roughly 55. That's a measure of future expectation, and it's nearly triple the average for the industrial sector. This valuation anomaly means the market is pricing in absolute total perfection, completely ignoring the toxic assets and the insider signals our scan has picked up.
And you know, beyond the internal flaws, the system is also exposed to significant external threats. These are the macro and political shocks that could destabilize the whole operating environment, no matter how well GEV executes.
For instance, potential tariffs could tack on up to $400 million in annual costs. A hostile political stance on renewables could freeze projects and permits, which would just make that offshore wind crisis even worse. And then you have severe supply chain bottlenecks, especially in transformers, that are threatening to delay revenue for years. That guaranteed growth timeline? It's not so guaranteed.
Okay, it's time to synthesize these conflicting data streams. We have the perfect growth narrative on one side versus the reality of structural flaws and external threats on the other. If you look at the market, it is completely polarized. The bulls see a core growth investment with a justified premium. The bears, they see toxic assets and huge structural risk, and they're issuing a strong sell with a price target near $425. That's a potential 40% downside.
So here's our final verdict. The probability vector points to extreme volatility. The system is priced for a perfect future that the underlying data just does not support. The gap between that bull narrative and the operational reality is, simply put, unsustainable. Do not let emotion drive your trade. So the ultimate question is still on the table. Is GE Vernova truly the heart of the AI revolution, or is it just a ghost in the machine? Subscribe to AI Stock Radar for the next detection. Signing off,